next topic. Alright, we're going to be doing something that I have never done before. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about college football, but not from the way that you typically would see it. So usually I would present a topic and then I would talk about it. Sometimes I would invite the guests on and then we would talk about that topic. Well, for this topic, we're going to invite a guest. Alright, you guys will see who the guest is. Alright, but we're not here to pick a random topic and just talk about it. We're going to talk about the guest. The guest is Trevor Bryan. Alright, he's been on the show before. He kind of knows how it works, but this time the topic is about himself. So this topic is going to be a Q&A. Alright, and we're going to be talking about his high school career, what he's looking forward to at Wingate, and how he'll do and what's his future plans in there. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about from the lens of a high school player turned to college football player, and we're just going to do a Q&A. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to be doing a Q&A with Wingate wide receiver Trevor Bryan. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to go talk to him shortly. I'm going to be making a call with him now. What's up, man? What's up? How you been? How you been, Trevor?
Been pretty good. Just been working out and working. That's about it. How about you?
Yeah, it's been good. I believe it's been a long time since you've been on the show. I mean, you used to be a regular guest, but now you're here again, so that's good.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Indeed it is. Alright, so you've been on the show before to talk about football topics, but this time you're on to talk about yourself, ironically enough. So we're going to bring you on here to talk about your own game. So here's what this topic is. This is a Q&A with Wingate wide receiver Trevor Bryan. So say hello to the audience.
Hey guys. This is Trevor.
Hey. Yep. This is Sports Guy talking. Alright. So I want to start off with your senior stats. Alright. So you had an interesting senior year. So you played in 12 games. You had 23 receptions for 555 receiving yards. You had 10 receiving touchdowns. You had one rush, -1 rushing yard. You actually had one kickoff return for 4 kickoff return yards. You had 1 punt return, 0 punt return yards, and you had 3 2-point conversions rushing. So I want to talk about a little bit about your senior season. So tell me what your experience was like.
Well, it was definitely an interesting one. We started off pretty hot. We were rolling at the beginning of the season, which was really good. We were throwing the ball a good amount. I enjoyed having Arnold as my quarterback because he was really good. He was really good at extending plays and making plays happen. So me and him clicked early. Me and Arnold were clicking. I didn't have much receptions within games, but I always would get open downfield and I'd have a few catches for a few touchdowns just about every game for the first couple of games. And then midway through the year, he got hurt, and that kind of threw things off. We had to change our entire game plan, and then we started running the ball 40, 50 times a game, and our entire scheme just flipped from air attack to ground attack. So it was pretty interesting, but I enjoyed it. I'm really glad we made the playoffs. That was something I was really hoping for to end out my high school career. It was a trip to the playoffs since I hadn't made it to the playoffs my entire career. But overall, it was a good experience. It was an interesting one. Now, looking back on it, I wouldn't have changed anything. But I think our coaches did a good job of changing the game plan and changing the schemes up a little bit since quarterback got hurt. But there's only so much you can do when a star player like that gets hurt, All
right. So now this leads me up to my follow-up question. So, what was your favorite game that you ever played in high school?
My favorite game that I ever played. I was thinking about it, and probably South Mech, which was week 2 of my senior year. It was one of my favorite games just because we were at home for the first time my senior year. It was our home opener my senior year. We had just come off a big victory against North Neck that nobody was really expecting, and so it was pretty much just. It wasn't the hardest opponent in South Mech, but it was just exciting to be home in front of the fans for the first time of the year, for the first home game of the year, and I caught 2 passes and I scored twice. I can't remember the exact score of the game actually, but I know we won a lot to a little, and I remember they gave me player of the game for that game after the game. I just had 2 receptions for, I think it was 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I did a lot of nice blocking that game. But that was probably one of my favorites just because it was our home opener. We played really well, and we were rolling. At that point in the season, we felt like we were on top of the world. So that's probably one of my favorite games in high school.
All right, that's certainly an interesting choice.
Yeah.
All right, so now I got to ask you this. So, which type of quarterback is better for you to play with? Pocket passer, balanced, or mobile?
Honestly, I'm gonna go with mobile, just because Arnold he was a very interesting quarterback. He was really good at extending plays, making plays outside the pocket, and like when the pocket would collapse, he was really good at being quick on his feet and getting outside the pocket, making big plays happen. And that was really good for me because to have a quarterback like that, it gives the receivers time to make plays downfield, to get open and extend the play, scramble drill, which was something that I got a lot better at and was something that was really good about my game this past year is because I was really good at extending plays and just running extra routes, and when plays would break down, me and him would click because he would just break outside the pocket and extend the play, and I would just come open downfield. So I like playing mobile quarterback just because they're good at extending plays and making bigger plays happen. Pocket passers, obviously, I don't have anything against pocket passers. It's just pocket passers aren't as good at getting outside the pocket and making plays happen.
All right. I definitely see your reasoning. All right. So now that we got the high school experience out of the way, I got to ask you this. So, obviously, high school recruiting, college coaches, they're recruiting you, everything like that. All right, so tell me this. So, what is recruiting like from the player's perspective?
Well, a lot of people have a lot of different experiences. That's for certain. But a lot of the recruiting process, a lot of it is based off of measurables, and that's where a lot of people had advantages over other people. Like for me, example, I'm only 5'9", 168. So obviously, like on paper, I don't look that great, and my 40 is a 4.7, so I'm not like blazing fast either. So measurables is a big factor when it comes to recruiting, because obviously, schools nowadays want the biggest, fastest guys, so that's who they're looking for on paper. And obviously, there's like camps, and there's there's combines and things to go to, which I went to a lot my senior year, but just because of the influx of people that just that come through to camps and combines, it makes it hard to stand out, especially like if you have like not very good measurables like myself. So it can be frustrating. It can be really frustrating, the recruiting process from a player's perspective. A player like me, like someone that doesn't have like very good measurables, like their stats aren't off the charts, like type of guys. So it can be frustrating at times just because like what you're capable of. Like there's a lot of players, like me that know like that they're capable of doing big things, but it's just hard to like get noticed just because you're smaller or you're not the fastest. So from from a lot of players' perspective, it can be frustrating, but it's a business. They got to find the biggest, fastest guys, and sometimes not everybody. They don't see everybody, or sometimes they recruit the wrong people, or they don't recruit the right people. It's just a business, and from a player's perspective, sometimes it can be frustrating, but you just gotta be patient, pretty much.
Exactly. I can definitely feel you that. If I was to play, high school ball like the way that you did, I'd be an undersized pocket passer. That's kind of part of the reason why I didn't play. And plus, pocket passer, there's many other career paths for me personally. But hey, you do you. All right. So tell me quickly. All right. So which NFL player would you compare to very similarly? Now, who's your player comp?
So I was thinking about it, and I'm not the fastest guy, and I'm more of a slot, like route technician type of guy. And a person that comes to mind for me is Jarvis Landry. I'm a big Jarvis Landry fan because Jarvis Landry, he's not the fastest. He doesn't have blazing speed, and he's not a big guy either. But he's a route technician. He has really crisp routes. He's very precise with his footwork and just the routes he runs. He's good at extending plays downfield. And just getting off DBs and making linebackers miss when he's in the slot, and he's also really sure-handed. And for the most part, I think one of my strengths is my hands. Yeah, so I'd say I'm more of a route technician with sure hands, and I think that fits Jarvis Landry as a comp because he's small, he's quick, he's not the fastest, but he's sure-handed and he's got good routes. So I would say. Obviously, it'd be an honor to be compared to Jarvis Landry, but I like Jarvis Landry, and I model his game.
All right. Here, I'll tell you mine quickly. All right. So I looked at your film, right, and based on what you told me, I would say that your player comparison is Cole Beasley.
Yeah.
Just because, you're a good route runner, you got good hands, and you can catch passes over the middle, and you're a tough receiver. That's what you pride on, but you guys are both undersized, so that's what I got to say. All right, let's move on to this next question. So, just tell quickly, all right, just kind of like a summary. So, here's the question. What sold you to commit and play for Wingate?
Well, I loved Wingate, just because, the coaches, for one thing, are really nice and make you feel welcome there. It was one of the. I was only really talking to about 4 or 5 different schools, but I remember they came through. They watched my film. They invited me for a visit on the campus, and then I went, and then they offered me, and I ended up committing a couple of days later just because I really like the campus. I really like the coaches. Coach makes you feel welcome. The team's really good. Wingate has had a history of being pretty good the past couple of years. Last year they went, I think it was either 10-1 or 10-2. Can't remember, but I know they won. I think it was 10 games, and they got an invite to the national D2 playoffs. So I know that if I go there, I'll have winning records. I'll be able to play on a winning team. I'll get a good experience playing under Joe Wright. I know he's a really good coach, and I'm excited. It was a really nice school, and that's why I chose Wingate.
All right. Yeah, Wingate's a good place, man. All right. Hopefully I'll have an update. We'll see. All right. So this is kind of like a 2-parter question, and try to answer this quickly. So tell me how's it been working with Coach Joe Reich based on what you've seen and heard, and how will you be used in his offense?
Well, I don't know Coach Wright that well, just because I haven't had that much time with him, and I haven't spoke with him that much. But because I mainly know my recruiter and my receiver coach, those are the coaches I've talked to the most. But I know when I committed, Coach Wright called me personally and just thanked me for committing, and said that he's excited to work with me. So I know he's a good man. They've been sending us videos over quarantine, just telling us to stay healthy, just any updates, and I'm excited to work with him. I know he's a good man. I know he's a good coach. He's led them to some successful years, past couple years, And as far as me being used in the offense, I'm not exactly sure right now. I know there's a good bit of receivers that are committing along with me. And there's also about I think they had 14 or 15 receivers on the roster last year, but that's excluding transfers or people that might leave or might stop playing, whatever. But so I know it's going to be highly competitive, but I'm just going to go in, try to work as hard as I can, and try to stand out and work my way into the offense somehow, or special teams, whatever it takes my first year. And hopefully I can be used in the offense. Hopefully they can use me where they need me, and hopefully I can help them be successful.
All right. Yeah, that sounds like a good strategy. So now I gotta ask you this. So do you feel like you need to bulk up as a receiver in order to reach your highest potential playing for Wingate?
Well, this is an interesting one. Of course, I need to bulk up a little bit more. Yeah, I've been bulking up ever since I got into high school just because, I'm a smaller guy. But there's only so much bulking up you can do. Obviously, I'm not, trying to get to, 190 or 200 pounds. I'm fine being, 170, 180 range because I don't want to lose any of my speed. I really am trying to focus on just making my routes, crispier, my releases better and my speed better, just so I can have that leg up on the field. Because I'm never going to be the strongest on the field. I'm never going to be one of the biggest. So I need to bulk up a little bit more. Obviously, that obviously helps, in any scenario. But that's not my number one focus. My number one focus is just working on my speed and trying to get to the level of speed, the college levels of speed and speed of the game and the quickness and just what it takes to play at that level regarding those attributes.
All right. All right, next question that I got to ask you. I'm sure you could answer this very quickly. So how often do you go out on the field with COVID-19 happening right now?
Well, we have a workout packet for the summer. We've had a summer workout packet that they gave us at the end of spring. And it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday is lifts, and Tuesday and Thursdays is running. So I've been out in the field, and I usually will go throw routes, usually every other day too, with one of my friends, Luke. He used to play quarterback at Independence when I was a junior, when I was a sophomore and a junior. So yeah, I usually go throw with him when I run on Tuesday and Thursdays. So Tuesday and Thursdays for the entire summer is how often I go on the field. Occasionally I'll go out on a Monday or Friday or Saturday, sometimes Saturdays. But it's consistently Tuesday and Thursday, so consistently 2 to 3 days a week is how often I'll go throw and run.
All right, you gotta make sure you grind in there.
Yeah, definitely grinding. I'm doing, doing something every day.
Mm-hmm. All right, I gotta ask you this about Reich. So, do you think that Coach Joe Reich will put you in the best position to succeed at the highest level for Wingate?
Yeah, I definitely think you will. He's definitely given a lot of talks about how they how they always put people in the best position to succeed. He hired a really good strength coach that I believe used to play there. That always puts the players in the best position they need to be regarding health and strength. So he knows who's qualified to help us, and he knows what to do to help us be better, to get better every day. So I don't doubt that he'll put me along with my teammates in the best position to succeed. And he's going to do his part. I just need to do my part, which is grind, work hard for him, and do the best I can to help them win.
All right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Coach Reich, he's highly respected in the D2 thing for NCAA. I also want to mention about this guy. He's been there since 2001 or something like that. So he's been there a long time. He's had a lot of success with Wingate. So I got to point that out. Now then. All right. Now I gotta ask you this. This is going to be kind of a tough question. So, do you plan on transferring to a better college, like a D1 school? If you play well enough at Wingate to catch the eye of a D1 scout that may be convinced about your potential?
That is a tricky one. I haven't really thought about that. I want to say that I probably just want to stay 4 years there and play there, because I mean there's a lot of players that go on. They're not necessarily NFL stars, but there's a lot of players that go on, make NFL practice squads, that make NFL teams, that came from D2, D3 colleges. So I'm not too worried about playing at the D1 level. I mean, obviously that's a dream, but I mean, I love Wingate. Obviously, if I in the next year or two, if I'm doing really good, if I'm a big part of the offense, I mean, I don't see why I'd want to transfer somewhere that I might not be that big, where I might not play as big of a role that I am if I reach that point at Wingate, which I'm really hoping I will in the next couple of years. So it's not really something I've thought about that much, but chances are I probably won't.
All right, but if the opportunity presents itself, then I would assume that you would have to go for it, right? And that you'll get decent playing time if you went to a D1 school, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess it all depends on the playing time I receive and exactly what they're talking, where it is, and just how things are going at Wingate right then and there. So I'm not sure. I may jump on the opportunity, but I don't know. It's kind of a tough question.
All right. So now I got to ask you this. All right. So I know it's been tough with COVID because you guys can't really go out there on the field, but have you built any relationships with the players on your team?
Well, I haven't really got to, I haven't met any of them in person yet, but I've talked to just a couple of guys. We have a group chat with all the receivers, with the receiver coach. So I mean, I've talked to some of them. My roommate is a cornerback that played football at Shelby, so I know him. I've talked to him a little bit, but outside of that, nothing too crazy, just because of the circumstances. But yeah, that's about it.
All right. And now I'll ask you this. I know it's kind of tough because you say you don't know the quarterbacks at Wingate. I don't really know them too well either, but what is your current relationship between you and the QBs that you've worked out with so far?
Oh no, I haven't met any of the quarterbacks yet. There, so I don't really.
I mean, are you excited that when you will see them though?
Yeah,
like
I'm definitely looking forward to it. Yeah, I know. Last year's QB was pretty good. I'm excited I'm looking forward to going and throwing with him, building relationships with a quarterback, because always the relationship between a quarterback and receiver is always a good bond. I've always had really good bonds with all the quarterbacks I've had. I still do. I'm excited to go meet the quarterbacks that I'll play with. So I'm looking forward to it, for the relationship and just for the fun we'll have on the field.
Yeah. You better hope your QB's mobile though, because that's what you did want though.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah. Just got to work out differences, try to do what's best for the team. All right, so I have a few more questions for you. All right, so I know it's kind of tough because you don't know, but where do you think that you're currently projected on the depth chart?
Well, me along with all the other signees will probably be at the bottom of the depth chart, just because we haven't proven anything at the college level yet. But I don't necessarily know where I'll rank amongst the signees, but the current depth chart, I'm sure, will be below all the current guys just because they have experience at the college level. that's really going to be a question for after training camp and when I get the chance to be on the field with them and work hard and prove myself, which I'm really looking forward to doing. I'm really excited for training camp, which starts in 3 weeks. So I don't really exactly know where I'll be on the depth chart, but hopefully I'll be a little farther up than where I started in the next couple weeks.
All right. So even though you don't know where you are on the depth chart, well, let me just list you your stats that you got in 31 games at your high school career. So, in 31 games, your career stats are 70 receptions for 1,318 receiving yards, 13 receiving touchdowns. Like I said earlier, you had 1 rush for -1 rushing yard. You had 1 kickoff return, 4 kickoff return yards. You had 1 punt return, 0 punt return yards. You had 3 2-point conversions rushing and 1 2-point conversion receiving. I actually remember one of the 2-point conversions that you convert on a fake field goal run because I was at that game. So yeah. All right. So hopefully that resume be enough to maybe where you can see the field as a slot receiver, and then work your way up. So that hopefully that's going to happen like that.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right. Now I got to ask you this. So is Coach Joe Reich's system similar to the one that his brother Frank Reich uses on the Colts, from what you've seen by film, all that kind of stuff, and what you know about Frank Reich from watching the games yourself?
Well, I know at Wingate they're a little more run heavy than I'm used to. They have really good running backs and Najir Peoples, who used to play running back at Butler, so they like to run the ball a lot. Or Coach Reich likes to run the ball a lot. He likes to use what they have, and obviously they have really good running backs. So I mean, they're gonna run the ball a lot if you have really good running backs. So I haven't really got a playbook yet or anything like that. We haven't really studied our schemes or anything yet. I mean, at least the incoming freshmen. So that's something I'll learn in the next couple of weeks. Just exactly what we do, exactly our schemes and everything like that. But I know they tend to run the ball a little bit more. That may change with the players that are coming in. That may change with the players that are leaving. So that's a little bit in there. But as far as that goes, I know that they run the ball a little bit more from what I've seen and from what I've studied. And yeah.
All right. But based on what you've seen from his brother Frank Reich, right? He's Colts head coach. I mean, let's just try to base it off of his system. Would you like it?
I probably would, honestly. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, for Frank Reich, he's one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he's really underrated at what he does. I like the way how he uses bunch formations and creates mismatches. And when you create mismatches in the passing game, that's going to open up the running game.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Let's see. All right. We got 2 more questions before I got to go. All right, so I kind of already asked it, but I'll ask it again anyways. Do you feel like you're going to get good playing time on the field this season and in the future?
Well, it's all depending on how training camp goes. I'm really hoping to go out and prove myself. Obviously, there's a lot of receivers coming in, receivers that are already there, so I'm going to do everything in my power to work my way on a special teams or something, and hopefully I can get on the field a generous amount this year. I mean, I'm not going to be hurt. I'm not going to be too hurt if I'm not, just because I know it's more competitive and there's a lot of receivers there. So I know what I'm capable of. I know I'm capable of working really hard and making myself stand out. So that's what I'm going to do, and hopefully you'll see me on the field.
Yeah, I definitely would want to see you playing on the field. I mean, it's always good when you see somebody you know that's playing on the field because it's something that you can relate to.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the last question I plan to, anyways. I'm going to ask you. So let me start the setup. So obviously you picked Wingate for a reason, right? So And so is there like something in the offense? So here's the question. What is your favorite part about Wingate's offensive scheme? I know you haven't really studied the schemes, but from what you've seen and heard, that kind of stuff.
Well, obviously, I haven't done that much studying of the schemes just because we haven't been given playbooks and we haven't had the time to sit down with coaches and just learn the offense. But so I don't really know as far as that goes. But I'm really excited to work with my receiver coach. I know that my receiver coach actually played in the NFL for a couple seasons. Nate Poole. So I'm really excited to work with him. I know he's a really good receiver coach, and he's going to put me in the best position along with Coach Wright. They're going to put me, the receivers, and everybody, all my teammates, in the best position possible for us to succeed and the team to succeed as a whole. So I'm just excited to work with the coaches and just learn the schemes and play my part in the offense and play my part as in the entire team. So that's something I'm looking forward to. Since I don't really exactly know I don't exactly know our schemes and what exactly we're doing yet. So yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a good strategy. Listen to your coaches, try to learn the playbook, try to fight for playing time, try to do whatever it takes, and try to take advantage of the opportunities that you have. Because you're competing with like so many different receivers. There's only so much playing time that you can get around with it. So you gotta try, but hopefully your high point in high school will be worse than your high point in college. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but theoretically, that kind of makes more sense, right?
Yeah.
So definitely. All right, I can't resist. I gotta ask you this one last question, and I promise this is gonna be the last one. So.
Good.
I know you don't know much about the college scheme, but I gotta ask you this. So, how's the scheme of a high school offense different from the college offense, from what you've seen and heard?
From what I've seen, they briefly described like some stuff to us on our visit, and if I know one thing, it's definitely gonna be more complex. High school, it's just a different level. High school, like we had just a few different concepts as far as like routes go. We usually would run just like we'd run one route concept, and they kind of put the game in our hands, which is definitely something that not a lot of high schools do. So I'm used to a little bit more complex of a system because we will run one concept, but me, Brian, the other receivers were allowed to do like pretty much different routes within that one concept. For example, we'd run like 4 verticals, and I'm reading the safety the whole time, and whatever the safety does, I either break it to an out, I can keep up on my seam, I can turn it to a dig, I can sit down to a curl. So pretty much, I'm used to reading defenses and running in a little bit more complex of a passing offense. But I have a feeling. With a little bit of learning, a little bit of what was described to us on our visit, that's going to be just a little bit more complex. Just it's not just going to be one concept like that where we're reading the entire defense they'll play. It's just going to be like a lot of different concepts, similar to that level of complexity. So yes, it's going to be a little bit harder, but that's something I enjoy. I know it's something you enjoy too. Is just studying the game. So I'm excited to go learn new things and just expand my knowledge of the game as a whole, and just get better at my football IQ along with my game.
All right, and that's the beautiful part about football. It's not just the physicality of it. It's about mentally. It's about the IQ. You got to know all that stuff. It's not simple as what you see on a television screen, where you see the receiver runs the route, because you got to think as you go, and you got to worry about not getting smacked by the safety or the linebacker.
Yeah,
because that's definitely not a good feeling. All right, so those are the questions that I'm going to ask you. All right, so here's what I got to say. I got to say thanks for agreeing to do this Q&A here. All right, I know it's been a while since you've been on the show, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, for sure. Thanks for the interview.
Yeah, no problem, man. Hopefully you can come back here soon, as soon as you can. Hopefully you can give me the scoop. What's going on in the offense, like how's the team's doing, stuff like that. And if you ever need any help with the IQ or like you don't understand something in the playbook, ask your coaches. And if you want to see what I have to say about the playbook, then I can also comment on it. So keep that in mind.
Oh yeah, sure. You should definitely invite me to for another football topic sometime.
Mm-hmm. And you can sometimes bring other players to come on too if you want to do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate doing this interview with you. So this is the first Q&A I've ever done with the player that I've invited on. Hopefully we get to do many more, whether it's with you or another person. So yeah. All right, so thanks for the interview, man. Appreciate it for coming on.
Oh yeah, no problem. All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Yep. See ya.
Yep.
Bye. That was the Q&A with Trevor Bryan that you guys just heard. I hope you guys were happy with hearing answers from Trevor Bryan. And the purpose of this topic was to show you a perspective of a high school football player that turned college, that turned into a college football player. All right? And he gave some interesting insights. You hear about these high school players, but you usually hear about these high-profile guys. But this guy was a low-profile guy. You're going to hear about how he worked his way up. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed the answers that he gave. I hope that you guys thought that I asked good questions. If you guys believe in both of that, all right. If you haven't already watched the video that you guys are going to watch it, and tell other people to watch it. And when they watch it, tell them to drop a like, just for that great interview that I did with Trevor Bryan. All right. So that concludes my topic of this Q&A with Wingate wide receiver Trevor Bryan. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's what I got to say about it. I hope that I provide good questions. I know that he provided good answers. Hopefully you guys agree with me about that. And those are my thoughts on all of that. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Be sure to check out more of the best clips from Tran Talks on the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.